and it's like that is just a savior, savior. It's a little gross for the underwear, but whatever. It yeah yeah yep yeah. And you'll also find, like, unfortunately, there are some bridges that, you know, aren't helpful as well. And even if they're cute, like, it's like, ugh. And I know I have that issue too. So I have to like some bridges I can wear if I'm gonna ride on my own, but I can't wear them in a lesson because I know I'm gonna get killed. Yeah, the Desitin is just really, really great, and it really heals. Like it helps take off the sting. Um, yeah, it's really good. But it's good. Yeah, we're too tired. We can't hold any longer. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I mean, you've gotten a lot other parts of the rhythm, though. You know, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is so important. Um, and I mean, it's the start of trying to get everything to relax, right? So let's go ahead and start with a little bit the beat out of the script. And just start with like small movements of the legs. And then as you feel good, like legs away, make them a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. When he does that, just give him, push forward. Oh, okay, he was like, oh, yeah, or something. Yeah, nice. But yeah, and especially you can see too on um, going track to the right, you can see too, maybe if you notice in the video, that you do get off to the left. And so the other thing is too, I mean, this is a newer saddle, so that's kind of good too. But like, so not only do we have to be careful to correct the, the straightness of, what we're doing, but we can also start to crush the saddle as well, So like I want you to crush the saddle with your seat bones on the back, sitting back in that little knoll and making that place, but also sitting off one side to the other, or, you know, putting one leg more forward than the other. You can also make uneven uh, uh, little places, little holes in the saddle, right? So we want to be careful too, because sometimes what happens is that, and I used to crush my saddle a lot. I probably still do actually, because this last time, although she said it wasn't so bad, but if you um, if you have a problem and then the saddle gets kind of crushed in your problem, then when you're trying to fix it, then you're also now you've got like the saddle that's kind of been adapted to you, yeah, sitting incorrectly, and then I mean that's extra hard, right? So we want to. I just Right. So I want to keep aware of that too. So like I don't want. It's a little bit like the idea of Chris having. We realizing that she's having scoliosis. Like, okay, there's a problem there. So we know like that's nothing that we can't help. But you want to say, okay, we'll make sure the saddle's okay, make sure everything's kind of okay. That not really struggling and fighting.
If he would be okay with it, like sometime I'm over there, I'd like to see if put no saddle on him,
Yeah.
and so I just like to try like different saddles,
I
you
think
know.
so too. I think it would be fun to go through the different saddles, and I think by the time next season too, that could be a fun thing too. That when they come out and you really, I don't know, maybe you had that with your old saddle, but they really come out and you try a whole bunch of different saddles, and it's fun to
The one
see.
girl that I taught this from, she has a ton of different saddles.
Okay, so you went.
That was her. I just had custom, like
Okay.
just
And
so.
did you try them on and go and ride and on and go and ride and go and like that?
I did it because this one she had used,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
was like, it was like, okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to get refined.
Sure.
I like this one. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
but she does have a ton I can try.
But it's just it's nice sometimes to feel you put one on, take one off, put one on. It's a separate thing. It's like it's crazy to feel sometimes. You're like, yep, nope, this is bad.
Right. I mean, the first one, the custom saddle, I tried to put custom saddles, and some were just like, no,
No,
you know.
no. And the horse, you have to really think about
Right.
how the horse moves and everything. But I have to say though, like he he seems okay in this saddle. To be honest, I think he's comfy in the saddle. I wish it was just bigger, a little bigger.
Just slightly bigger, and when I bought it, I'm like, oh, this is so small,
Hmm.
and I knew that was gonna be an issue for me because it's a smaller piece than I'm used to.
Maybe it could be you could find this brand and they would understand or know with the tags and marking this layout for his back. Um, what size is that seat? Do we know?
Uh,
Did you
it's
measure?
like either a 16.5 or 17, and
Uh,
my other one was 17.5.
yeah, you need like an 18 for sure. Like I love to have all that room. Mine are I think like
Right,
because
right.
it's the problem is it's not an 18 in a polo saddle. Like an 18-inch in a polo saddle looks humongous because it's actually flat. Like we have these such curves with the dressage saddle, but it's like you know it could be a 25. It would still seem tight because it's like scooped. Yeah. Okay, so this looks pretty good. And um, did I send you? Did I send you a video of a guy riding a Lusitano? Okay. I'll try to see if I can send it to you. I think it's on YouTube, but I really wanted to. It's just an odd reason why I was looking at that video, but the guy, his elbows, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to send this to Lucinda so you can see. It's a really strange thing to feel like you have to bend in that crease and put the elbows down and back because you almost feel like you're pulling in a horse a little bit, but then you keep riding your feet and riding your legs until he kind of comes lighter. You don't pull back. You don't give. You kind of follow him with as much little movement as he's like right now. He's gonna have a huge movement because he's walking. He doesn't have a huge movement of the head, but he has some. So you bend those creases, bend the elbows, and take back in the creases there, and keep walking him. And as more as you take in that bend, you follow. So you feel like there's a little bit of head movement, so you're following, but you're gonna make more and more and more feet and more legs until he feels like all of a sudden he'll feel like he's there, but you won't feel like you're pulling him anymore. It'll be like a little period of like, oh, this feels like I'm kind of pulling on him. And he specifically, he's like he he's that horse like I told you that he takes like an extra time to push his nose out and be a little like you know. And more. And tell me when you feel like you get a better idea of the walk and you feel like your elbows are creased enough, but that you that it gets in this nice little place.
Like I had felt it there for a little bit.
Yep.
He got real white. He got real white.
So do it and do it again. And keep doing it like recycling that over. That's right. Because so do you feel like okay, you're on the horse and you're like, okay, now I'm gonna do the thing that Erin just said. I'm gonna bend my elbows and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, right? Feel the process. I
Okay,
hope
now
that
I felt pretty white.
okay,
But he
so
got no.
you feel it soft.
He got soft, but he went low. Now
Okay,
I'm going to get it again.
so then you just redo the whole thing again. Sometimes you don't have to do the whole thing and the whole length and the whole time, but sometimes you have to just like recatch him again. But um, the idea is that I want you to feel like you can start the process and hopefully you can either see the result in the future or you can feel it. So if you're starting to feel it, that's fine. Then we have to learn how to recycle it and then we have to learn how to do it all faster, if that makes sense. And then what you'll start to learn to do is between, if it takes 7 or 8 steps for you to do this process, and you can just keep on repeat, and then you fix it in 7 or 8 steps, and then you keep it, and you recognize, and then you feel it, and then you have to repeat, and then you have to fix it, and then you 7 or 8. You know, this is like on a repeat, right? Then you're gonna start to say, okay, I know when he's getting ready to get out of this. So then you start saying, okay, now I'm going to catch him a little sooner, and then what I want you to find out is what you do in a fast fix sequence to balance him right before he uh, loses it. So you just keep him in that little magical space. And I want you to figure out what he needs and what you need to do that because it's really the key in the trot and the canter. It's the same. So if you can figure out the timing and what it feels like, and when you're getting ready to lose it in the walk, and you can basic version right now is take, you know, as long as time as you need, but you do get the result. That's fine. But then we'll get it shorter and shorter and shorter, and then you'll figure out how to keep it. And you'll have these the little conversation that you have with him, and he's kind of like, yeah, yeah, now I'm good, or now I'm not, or I don't want to do it, or yeah, I will do it. You know, you'll have all those conversations with him still forever, but you won't like you. It's like you let the world see your conversation with him. That if you've had a good day or a bad day, you know, like you're like, well, I'm good now, and then now I've lost it, and now I'm good, now, which is totally fine. But eventually, you'll get to the point where you'll manage all of this in your body, your seat, and we won't see it so much. Like I'll see it, but you know what I mean. I won't see you losing it, halfway losing it, getting it, halfway getting it really great, getting it a little less great. You know, going through all the phases. Good. So we're gonna go ahead and start with trot today, and if you can shorten him up, I think that length seems good.
Okay, this would be the yellow tab.
Okay, I like that. That's what I was just gonna say. I've kind of lost um, in the last 2 days we've let it a little bit longer. This is really good. This is really, really nice for him starting everything that we've been through with you and him. Like, this is kind of, even a year ago, I would have been like, oh gosh, I hope she can start warming up trotting like that. So this is nice. Why? Why is it nice?
It's rhythmical, it's pretty easy. It's a contact knife. I feel him pushing from behind. I have to like give him a reminder,
Yep.
but I feel it coming.
And up until right there, I think the bigger thing that like kind of makes me happy from the start is his rhythm. He's already kind of swinging the tail a little bit. The reach from the hind legs and the front legs, everything looks symmetrical, and because of that, he is going into the contact. He's on the vertical. Um, his ears are kind of a little forward. Everything, he doesn't seem angry about it. So this is a really great place to start. And when he gives you this in the beginning, in the first few strides, we kind of have to just kind of marinate there for a little bit and be like, wow, we did want this a year ago and it was impossible. Like maybe you got 3 or 4 strides, but by the time you hit the corners, you lost him, or he didn't want to go, or he got too long, or he got too whatever. So this kind of swish, 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 swish. Now, do we want to make it better? Yes. But we don't want it any lower. We don't want it any slower. And it's just a really good, it's what I like to see. Um, and he kind of gave it to you on the first few strides. I mean, he just went kind of right into it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So then when we start with these things, we are going to go the other way. So we're going to go on the long diagonal. But as soon as we get this kind of desire, this is like what I had hoped that we would start to warm up in the trot one day. All right. Then we got to go kind of upset the apple cart a little bit, don't we? We can't just be happy that here he goes starting really great like this. Remember, this going to the right is a tricky part for him, but he's giving you a great like essence today. He's kind of giving you a really great flow. So you're going to kind of not kill that, but you're going to help him in the corners, keeping this rhythm. But you're just going to tickle him a little in the right and hold him a little bit up for the turn if she doesn't do funny steps. But again, yeah, that was better. That one was your better one. Did you feel that corner? Did you do anything different?
I did.
Okay. What did you do? So this way, yeah, exactly. So this way, and usually you have to hold him and really pump him. But today, because he's giving you such a beautiful energy, I think,
Uh-huh.
you can kind of just do, okay, you still have to ride him under on the hind legs, right? But you can do, I hope you're taping. Are you taping?
I am.
Okay, good. You could feel what a beautiful thing it is when he comes to the table a little bit like this, because usually most of the things that you're trying to do right now is create this trot, first of all, right?
Right.
But he's nice, I think, in giving you the energy. Now keep your right hip a little bit back. Good. And he's just on the verge of going, like if he went a hair lower, it would be too low. So just be careful. But again, it kind of ties in with the trot that he's doing. He's pretty acting pretty loose to start. And he's kind of just like, you can tell he's kind of like, I'm doing so good. Like, are you going to let me stretch a little bit? You can tell he's kind of like, let me see if she's going to let me longer. So don't get angry with him. Don't like abruptly shorten the reins, but say, just stay right here for me because this is going pretty well for you and him. It's one of your better trot warm ups I can ever remember. But now we're going to, of course, try to upset the apple cart. Oh goodness, the girl is getting crazy here. Let's start with a 20-meter circle at that end. Just see she was following you so good. And stay on the 20-meter circle there. and then start. Okay, walk a minute. Just, get. So what is this then? This is making no sense. So let's
I'm
walk.
gonna turn off my watch because
Yeah, I'm gonna say stop your watch so you have that on video because I wanted you to see that trot. So stop the video.
I think I just need it.
I know. Okay, does it look like you stopped the video?
I turned the watch off.
Oh no.
I know. I hit it and it went off.
Okay.
Here, I turn it back on.
Okay, let's do it. It was going perfectly fine, and then the one last long side that you did, it started like going off to the left.